I'd like to call to order the Board of Adjustments meeting for July 30th, 2018. And roll call.
Kenneth Paragoy.
Here.
Steve Strickland. Here. Dorothea White.
Here.
Alfred Barfield is excused. Trip Ewell.
Here.
Kenneth Brown is excused. John Riggs.
Here.
Richard Parsons.
Here.
Lois Jameson is absent. Edward Bellis.
Here.
Ross Beebe.
Here.
John Merrill. We have a quorum.
Hey, thank you. Next order of business is the minutes from our June 25th, 2018 meeting. Hope you've all had the opportunity to read those. And are there any corrections, additions, or changes that need to be made to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. As we begin tonight's hearing, I'd like to take a minute to explain to everyone the process that we will undertake so that you'll feel comfortable with the process as it unfolds this evening. The Board of Adjustments is a quasi-judicial board. Consequently, everyone who wishes to speak at tonight's hearing must be sworn in before speaking. The second important aspect of being a quasi-judicial board is that we may only consider substantial and material evidence, facts, in our decision-making process. We cannot accept hearsay, opinions, or emotions. The first step in the hearing process is for the application for the special use permit to be presented to the board by the city staff, and there will be a period provided for public comments about the application. Following the public comment period, the board will begin to solicit facts concerning 6 requirements specified by law. After each of the 6 requirements, there will be a public comment period where evidence will be presented to the board. After all 6 items have been presented, evidence heard, and closing comments made, the board will deliberate and vote on each of the requirements one at a time. Following that voting process, the board will vote whether to approve or deny the application. At this time, I'd like to swear in anyone who would like to speak before the board. You also have the option to be affirmed if you do not require a request to be sworn in. Okay? Do you swear that the evidence you shall give to the board in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Okay. New business for this evening is consideration of a special use permit request to allow a bed and breakfast at 406 Hancock Street. The property is further identified as Craven County Parcel Identification Number 8-002-D-083. Greg, would you introduce this application to us?
Yes. Chair Paragoy, members of the board. This is a request by Ms. Sarah Affelbeck to operate a bed and breakfast at 406 Hancock Street. The property sits on approximately 0.12 acres. This project went before our department review June 15, 2018. The applicant has addressed all the comments. In your package, you'll have a copy of the addressed comments. The property was notified, adjacent property owners were notified within 100 feet. The property was posted. This project is a 2-step project, and as you know, by it being in the historic district, it has to go before the HBC, which I believe it went before the HBC, I believe in May. All right. According to Section 15-146 of the Land Use Ordinance, Use 1.520, a bed and breakfast is allowed in the Central Business District, that's the C1 Business District, with the issuance of a special use permit. The applicant has addressed all of the questions according to Section 15-54 of the Land Use Ordinance. Staff feels that the application is in line, and staff recommends approval of the special use permit request. In the audience, we have Ms. Affelback, and she is able to answer any questions relating to the bed and breakfast along with staff. Does the board have any questions for me at this time? I'll be more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Sarah, would you like to address the board and describe your project?
Good evening, Sarah Affelback. If you just want to look up at the screen, I have a survey of the property with the house located on it, and what I would like to point out is that I do have a city lot next door to me. I also have 3 parking spaces available on my property, and also parking is available out in front of the house. So there's plenty of parking. I brought my neighbor tonight, who lives across the street, to just kind of say how things go in, since people have been coming in to stay there, and to date haven't had any problems. In your packet, I included 2 letters from neighbors stating that it hasn't been a problem having the bed and breakfast there. And also this map right here, oh, there's my other neighbor, that shows a series of houses right across the street. There's 4 there that are zone C5A. Bed and breakfasts are allowed, and the house across the street used to be a bed and breakfast before. The lot, near mine and all around mine are allowed with a special use permit. So I feel it's very in keeping, with the area. I'm the only house on my block at all. There's no other houses on my block, so it's kind of isolated. And I've included some reviews and the letters and the site plan, and if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Questions?
Are there any plans to add to the current location?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open up the meeting to public comments. This is a time for general comments about the application for the bed and breakfast for a special use permit. This is just general comments. We'll get into specifics a little later. Please state your name and address, please.
Good evening. I'm Melinda Robinson. I live at 407 Hancock Street, directly across the street from Sarah. And my house was a bed and breakfast when I purchased it as a private residence for myself. I've lived here since 2006, and since Sarah has had guests in her home, there's never been a problem. There's never been a problem on the street. There's never been a problem with noise, and I support her 100%.
Thank you. Sir, if you're going to speak, you have to be sworn in prior to being. Okay. Greg? He wasn't here for the oath. Okay. Do you swear that the evidence you shall give to the board in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Your name and address, please.
Hello, my name's Jerry Cormier, and I live directly across the street from Sarah's at 405 Hancock Street. We've been there since 2005, and I don't have any issues with her having a bed and breakfast there now. There's no problem with parking because we've got the public parking lot and also the front of our house. and she has her own driveway. And we've run into no problems whatsoever. Usually when people are staying there, they'll see me outside on the front porch. They'll come over and ask me about New Bern. And I think I may have stuck that in my recommendation letter for it, where they'll actually, I think this is the second person in the past couple of months who've said they've put a deposit on a house in New Bern. They want to retire down here. And I think it's good for the city because they're buying other houses in the downtown area and they are rehabbing them, which means that the tax department will be increasing their taxes. And that's a good thing. But I wish the hell they had kept away from my house. And that's about it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Keep up the good work. If there's no further comments, I'd accept the motion to close public comment.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right. We will now enter the phase of dealing with the 6 requirements required by law that we have to address as a board. The first one is the requested permit is within its jurisdiction according to the table of permissible uses. Anything you would like to add, Sarah?
It's zone C1 and bed and breakfast is allowed in special use permit in C1.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone would like to add additional public comments at this time?
No, just want to say yes.
Okay. Okay, motion to close public comments on item number 1.
So moved. Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the second item, the application is complete. Greg?
Yes, it is. It's in line with section 15-54 of the land use ordinance.
Okay. Is there anyone who wishes to add anything to item number 2 about the application being complete? At this time, I'd take a motion to close public comments.
So moved. Second.
Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3. If completed as proposed in the application, the development will comply with all the requirements of this ordinance. Greg, would you agree with that?
Yes, I would. This project went before our department review, as I stated earlier, on June 15th, 2018. The applicant has addressed the comments that are applicable, and those comments address comments that are included in your packet.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment one way or another about item number 3? If not, I'll accept the motion to close public comment.
So moved. Second.
All in favor of closure of public comment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 4. The use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted. Anyone in the audience would like to comment? Okay. Is there a motion to close public comment?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, number 5. The use will substantially reduce the value of adjoining or abutting property, or that the use is a public necessity. Anyone like to comment from the audience about item number 5? Sir?
I wish the old fireman's museum would pressure wash the building because that's what's dragging down the neighborhood as far as appearance. That's immediately adjacent to her house. We spend all this money paying and maintaining ours, and the abandoned fireman's museum is just dragging the neighborhood down.
Okay, well, that's an item I think we're not going to probably deal with here this evening. It's out of our purview, but you can tell the city staff that. Okay, thank you. Any additional comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to close public comments on item number 5. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Number 6, the location and character of the use, if developed according to the plan submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the city. Any comments from anyone in the audience? Ma'am?
I agree that it will be in harmony with the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Did you get that, Greg?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no further comments, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Make a motion. Second.
Have a motion, a second to close public comment. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay. We have had public comment on all 6 items, opportunity for public comment on all 6 items. The issue now returns to the board for discussion, comments, questioning, and final voting on each of the 6 items that we have been presented so far this evening. So, with relationship to item number 1, the requested permit is within its jurisdiction according to the table of permissible uses. Any comments or thoughts from the board? I'll entertain a motion to approve that the requested permit is within its jurisdiction according to the table of permissible uses.
I make a motion that the requested permit is within the jurisdiction according to the table of permissible uses, as presented by city staff and Ms. Afterbeck.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is this a roll call, Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Ewell,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill. Yes. Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 2, the application is complete. Any questions or discussion amongst the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Dorothea approved. We need a second.
Second.
A second, that the application is complete.
That second was Ross.
Yes.
Roll call.
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Ewell,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 3, if completed as proposed in the application, the development will comply with all of the requirements of the ordinance. Discussion, comments from the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have-
Second.
We have a motion and a second. If completed as proposed in the application, the development will comply with all of the requirements of this ordinance. Roll call?
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Ewell,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 4, the use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted. Questions, comments amongst the board?
Make a motion that based on testimony from Ms. Afterbeck and Mr. McCoy, that the use will not materially endanger the public health or safety if located where proposed and developed according to the plan as submitted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Yule,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 5, the use will not substantially reduce the value of adjoining or abutting property or that the use is a public necessity. Board, comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
So move. Second.
Have a motion and a second that the use will not substantially reduce the value of adjoining or abutting property or that the use is a public necessity. Roll call?
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Yule,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 6, the location and character of the use, if developed according to the plan as submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the city. Questions, comments from the board? Hearing none?
Make a motion that, based on the testimony from Mr. McCoy and Ms. Affelbeck, the location and character of the use, if developed according to the plan as submitted and approved, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located and in general conformity with the plan of development of the city.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Yule,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. All 6 of the requirements of issuing a special use permit have been approved by the board. Is there a motion to approve the special use permit?
So move.
Second.
You have a motion and a second to approve the special use permit. Roll call?
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Yule,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. McCoy, are there any additional conditions that need to be considered for this approval?
Yes. The condition is the applicant shall provide on-site or satellite parking for each room rented. That is in line with our land use ordinance, section 15-146, use code 1.520, and also our parking requirements, which are located in section 15-342.
And staff has requested a special condition to be applied to the special use permit. Is there any discussion, questions concerning the request for special conditions?
I have one question. Did the city make the applicant aware of this requirement? I know it was addressed, but they had 1 to 3 parking spaces. However, I did not see it in the plan. And
Yes, this went before our department review, and according to our land use ordinance, you're supposed to, or you're required to have 1 parking space for each room rented. If the applicant wishes to expand this use, then she has to either provide on-site or satellite parking in line with section 15-349 of the land use ordinance. I discussed this with the applicant, and she is in agreement with those terms.
very good, thank you.
Any further questions or discussion amongst the board for the special conditions? If not, I'd accept the motion to approve the special conditions suggested by the board, by the staff.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
May I get that second?
Oh, John. Okay, roll call?
Edward Bellis,
Yes.
Ross Beebe,
Yes.
Steve Strickland,
Yes.
Trip Ure,
Yes.
Dorothea White,
Yes.
John Merrill,
Yes.
Richard Parsons,
Yes.
John Riggs,
Yes.
Kip Paragoy.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The special use permit has been approved by the Board of Adjustments. Thank you. Thank you for your neighbors coming and supporting you and making comments to the board. Much appreciated.
She's a good neighbor. One day I was working under the car, and she sent her husband over like 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure I wasn't dead in the car.
Good night. Greg, before we proceed to adjournment, it's July, and that's normally the time where we would have new officers.
Yes, we do have one new officer in place, Mr. Trip Ure. He has served on the Planning and Zoning Board along with the Historic Preservation Commission. He brings a wealth of experience to the board. He is one of our local architects. He has a master's in planning from the University of Michigan. He's well qualified, and we are honored to have him as a board member.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
That concludes this evening's agenda. If there is a motion to adjourn, it would be greatly appreciated.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adjourn, and I think we can handle that by voice vote. All in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you all for your time this evening.